thấy trong nhà gì cái tên đừng chán hôm nay giờ lúc chua lên tu lúc tiền nên gạo ó xong ó phần nên gạo của giờ Bolivar lúc xưa nó cũng nhớ đó họ đông sừng phò sừng Minnesota từ Tết chơi America cũng bỏ tàu lại hạt bên hôm tôi nhớ đó họ lúc sừng nó Jelly Charlie từ Frogtown từ lúc xong là tên nhà trừ sĩ ít xong tới ít xong thiết cũng bỏ tàu lại hạtท่านพระปอกูเตาจอเป้เสด็จเจตอนเตาเนี่ยลูกชงเลยล่ะหนึ่งลูกกงลูกเป้ที่หนึ่งจอหนึ่งยาแกงกือยวนรอเป้ให้หนึ่งมงยออ้วนดูรูมูจีเกิดตัวรุ่นเลยยาตอนเด้กูคุณจึงเชื่อต่อเลยฮะเดียเท่าจีว่าเป้จะเล่าเรื่องตาเลยล่ะในพระปอลูกเป้ที่หนึ่งแต่แกงกือยวนย่อเลยน้องมูจีว่าหุบปลอเลยนู่นเราอีกขอถือสีเราเขาไปรุ่นตรงสังพอสังเมนโซตาอยู่เยอะอีกขอเท่าโจนเด้ไปปอnhớ đồ nung nọ thì nhớ đồ nung nọ nhớ đồ thì Frogtown là nhớ đồ họ lú rò sinh phò nó cú chửi xì ít khó thì là cú biểu tôi lú chế chế liền đời chuột lan tờ lú chế nó nhớ ít khó chơi wo xì ít lú center wo xì nhớ đồ họ đông sinh phò là hùa thì Frogtown Community Center General Vang Pao phiêu nó họ đó cú nhớ ít khó yếu wo cánh cử thì họ nó cú nhớ ít khó sở sử dụngพูดไปจอมีตู้มีหยวนไปหันมองกูปอกกูป้องตัวเดียอย่างตรงมีจ่าเดียตอนเราตอนผมจะเป็นมือใช้กี่ที่นู่นน่ะที่อย่างตรงมีจ่าเดียตอกก้ามเด้อผมจะเป็นมือใช้กี่ฮัลโหลมิ้นจีหลอดเด้อซิลิคอนโซไดท่อเทียตัวจืดตัวช่องยอดตัวตีตลาดคอมโมเลยเฉยๆอีสึกเป้าเลยเดียมองเท่ามาร์เก็ตเพลย์เดี๋ยวกูตัวหาไปเราลูกเทียเราไปยังไงจะสีเดียนี่เขาสาลิจ่าเทียถกเขาเนาะชื่อสีเทียที่เดี๋ยวปอตัวเดียเป็นมือตัวยอดตัวรู้ที่เขียนบริการเนาะตอนเต้ารู้ช่องเลย trừ sĩ lúc nào nhớ trò hậu dễ hậu rõ là thế qua trò sự được rộng xe hàng liền.
Now we're all gonna count down from 3, 2, 1, and then you're gonna cut it. Got it? Got it? Cut it? You go ready? Here we go, Ayana. Everybody. 3, 2, 1. Cut it. Cut it. Yay! This place is open now.
My name is Mike Hom. I am the director of the City of St. Paul's Parks and Recreation Department, and on behalf of the women and men that work for St. Paul Parks and Recreation and the entire community, I want to welcome you all to the grand opening for our outdoor spaces here at Frogtown Community Center in the General Vang Pao athletic fields. Welcome. You're going to hear from a few speakers here today, but before we get started, I just want to say that I am blown away by this space. As a person who's worked as a professional in the parks and recreation industry for the last 30 years of my life, I will tell you that you will not find another parks and recreation property, another athletic field, any place in this country that looks as good as this place looks right now. And this is ours here in Frogtown and St. Paul. My first job is to welcome my boss, and I want to, in introducing Mayor Melvin Carter, I want to tell a quick story. When Mayor Carter was first elected about 3 years ago, he spoke with department leaders like myself in the community to ask us about what was coming up, what were our priorities, what we saw in Parks and Recreation. And Mayor Carter asked me, he said, Mike, what is next for St. Paul Parks and Recreation? And I said, Mayor, the one thing that I think we need to do, my priority, is finish the building project and the outdoor fields at what was then Sheffer Recreation Center. And I said, it is very important. The community has been working on it for a very long time, and it is an area of great need, and it will provide great value. And Mayor Carter, without hesitation, looked across the table at me and said, Mike, it is my priority too that we finish that project. And we are here today with a completed project, a great project, thanks in large part to a champion for Parks and Recreation for community, my boss, St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter.
Thank you, Mike. Hey, welcome to Frogtown Community Center. I love this space. You know, I live in this neighborhood. So my children and I drive past here literally every day. And we've gotten a chance to watch this space go up. We've gotten a chance to watch this space come alive. Not just through the transformation of the construction project, but what really makes it alive is the young people who are swinging on the swings, or who are swinging on everything, and who are running on the fields and who are out here. And this is just amazing. You know, it takes me back to when I was a kid. And when I was a kid, and many of you know my story, I grew up playing in our rec centers. I grew up taking the city bus to the King Center and to Jimmy Lee after school, coming over across University Avenue to Sheffer and to West Minnie and playing in our rec centers. And every now and then we'd have a field trip. And we do field trips to like big amazing recreation centers from school. And every time we did a field trip to a big amazing, like let's go have fun all day long type of rec center, we were taking a school bus outside of St. Paul. And I remember we used to say every time we'd go have a day of fun out at one of these big new fantastic rec centers somewhere in a suburb, on the way back home, somebody would say, man, they'd never build that in our neighborhood. And so as mayor, I want to tell you, I take that as a personal challenge, because this is our neighborhood, and these are our children, and these are our neighbors, and these are our families. And if Frogtown families don't deserve the very best, I don't know who does. That's great. And our old building was the first rec building that we ever built in the city of St. Paul. That's right. And when you look at that old building, if you know what this space looked like before this transformation, you'll know why I use the word transformation. Because we would go there for basketball games, and you couldn't have a game there because the wall was about 3 floor tiles past the out of bounds line. You know, it was challenged for space, but what we lacked in space and facilities, we made up for in livelihood. Because even with those optimal facilities, this place was always alive, with the Half Pints drill team practicing outside, with young folks just filling that space up, with our parents kind of active and working with young people, with our rec leaders engaging people directly, with the outdoor courts that we did. I kid you not, this place was so used that it took about 45 minutes to an hour sometimes to get on the basketball courts. And I once saw some young people out here after the first snow who had literally dragged their feet in the snow to create a three-point line and a free throw line to play basketball in the snow. That's how used this space was. How could we, council member, how could we as a city not respond to that kind of urgency? How can we not respond to that kind of use with this kind of investment? So I'm excited to have this here. We just had a little meeting on top of the spider, what's that called? Spider. On top of the spider. We had a meeting on top of that, and we were talking to our young people, and I told them, listen, I have a quick quiz, and the question is a one-question quiz. It's whose is this? Whose is this space? And we agreed it belongs to all of us. And the challenge that I gave them is, come play on it. Play on everything. Play on every corner. Play on every tool. Play on every toy. Play on every field. Play every game. Swing every swing. Use this space completely. But the fact that it's yours also means that it's yours to take care of. So when you see some trash on the field, pick it up and throw it away. When you see somebody's broken a swing, go inside and tell a rec leader. Like, it's ours to play on, to enjoy, to have a great time, to be able to do this together. It's also ours to take care of, to ensure not just this group of kids, but our next group of kids, and the next group of kids, and the next group of kids after that can enjoy this 21st century first-class space that we just established right here in one of St. Paul's highest potential neighborhoods, Frogtown. And let me tell you this. There are some people who try to pretend that politics is an individual sport. But the truth is it's a team sport. And everything we do in partnership with one another. And I appreciate Mike. Mike's our director of the city's Parks and Recreation Department. With all the Parks and Rec staff who are here, just wave your hand. Give them a big round of applause. All the Parks and Rec staff who are here. Thank you for your work and keeping this space alive. I see our St. Paul police officers who are here. Thank you, sirs, for being here with us. With all the city staff who are here, raise your hand. All the city staff who are here, raise your hand. Thank you so much. And I have to tell you, we wouldn't have been able to do this. We wouldn't have been able to deliver on this promise. We wouldn't have been able to deliver on this exciting opportunity to invest in our Frogtown families in our city without the partnership of the Ward 1 City Council member. I already told you that I got a chance to spend a lot of time in that office representing Ward 1 as a neighbor, as a community member, as somebody who grew up in this community. And when you spend that much time invested in the work of an office, it's important to you that somebody come along and carry that work forward. And so I'm appreciative of the opportunity to work with Councilmember Untitled, who represents Ward 1, who has been a champion not just of getting this done, but of carrying forward the message of what would it say, in particular to our young boys and women, if we named this field after General Vang Pao. That's an important conversation to have, and I appreciate you giving voice and keeping that important voice at the table. Without further ado, I want to invite to the microphone our City Council member for Ward 1, Councilmember Untitled.
Round of applause for our wonderful Mayor, Melvin Carter. Thank you for his leadership, and he's right. It takes all of us as a team. When you play football, when you play soccer, or katal, or basketball, you got to do it in team, and that's how we're able to get this thing done. And we did our part as a service to you, and now it's your turn to come and use this park. Because again, this park belongs to all of you. Before I continue, I want to acknowledge Director Ham and his team. He's got an incredible team, and they don't just work in Frogtown. They work across the city to make sure that our city municipal facility, like this one here, works for all of us. And so I want to acknowledge a couple of folks here. If I read your name, please raise your hand, and then after I'm done, we'll give you another round of applause. So. Dave Rosani is the landscape architect. Okay. And Chris Stark, where's Chris? So I met Chris a while ago. He led the community engagement. And Alice Miser, where are you? Okay, right over there. Thank you. And then we have Director Ham again, right? Thank you, sir. And I think one of our current facility director is Yer Kang. Is she here? Right over there? Okay. You know, and this project wouldn't have been in office, and after that he went and joined our CIB committee, and we were strategic to get him there so that he could help advocate for this. And I know there's lots and lots of community leaders that help make this happen. And I want to share a little bit of story about why this field is important for us. We live in a very challenging time where politics is polarized, a lot of racism, discrimination, and this place is a place of peace. And General Vang Pao, we thought that it would be good to name it after him because he was a person who was known as one of the best field generals during the Vietnam conflict. As a military leader, he cared about his soldier, he cares about his people. As a civilian leader, he cares about education, he cares about equality. He was the first Hmong leader to work with the U.S. government and the Lao government to institute education center and school across Laos, especially in the rural area and the jungle, so that young people, especially women, can have the opportunity to go to school, to be teachers, to be nurses. He says to us that whatever country that the Hmong people immigrate to, as whether it's political refugee or not, or for education, that becomes our country, that becomes our home. And that we work with everybody in the community, and the message of unity resonate every day. General Vang Pao is a person who cared about justice, who cared about freedom. And because of those values, the Hmong people were able to come here, and we are so grateful that when we are here, we have our brothers and sisters in the African American community who have fought long since the birth of this country. They have helped to build this land. They have helped to industrialize this country and changing the laws and the rules of civil rights movement and trying to dismantle structural racism in this country. So we are thankful for them. Because without them, we would, the Hmong people and the newer immigrant would not be where we are today. And so we are very grateful. As we go forward, invite your family and your friend to use this facility. This is a place where we can gather. We were very strategic about designing a facility that whether you're 8-year-old or you're 80 years old, doesn't matter what race, what gender you are, we wanted to create a place where you belong. And this place belongs to everybody. And I hope they'll continue to use this facility and the space. I remember we had, when we had Sheffer Field here, and we had a meeting in there. It was so hot, it was so crowded. There was literally rat or mice dropping. And that's not what St. Paul wants. We are much better than that. So I'm really proud of the work that we have done, and I hope that you all will promote this unity, peace for all of us, education. Now, I want to say a few words in Hmong to all the Hmong folks and the veterans that could not make it here today. Okay? 我做到呢陣年就時呢就用推咗貼單啊呢轉咗整年幫友的場面間啦呢呢就俾多俾就咪用幫啲你多更多啲老位都指論齊指連咯你就นู่น咯俾多พี่รุ่นเดินยมบาน咯就只攞รุ่น備書都我知道呢陣年就指嘅你冇賺下波咗幾俾就用幫啲你多做就俾我當咪連咯是落個呢日都清就俾聽你俾埋你就做些是路是巴個車當幫公路俾冇入等地啦 So I wanna leave you with this. When we cut the ribbon and we named this field as General Vang Pao Field, I call upon his spirit in his great name, in his great honor, to watch over us, this city, to watch over our elected official, our mayors, and all the city staff, frontline workers, and all members of the community, to bless us with prosperity, good health, protect us from the pandemic, guide our family, help us to unite, help us to be leaders across this country of what diversity looks like, that our diversity, it's our strength, we stand united, and that we will fight for each other's hope, we will fight for each other's dream. That's what the American spirit that General Vang Pao would want. So thank you so much. And this project couldn't have been done without the help of community members and leaders of the community. And one of those that I like to introduce here is Thor Zhang. He is the owner of the Frogtown market. They have incredible food over there. You don't need to go to Southeast Asia or Mall of America. They got great food, great merchandise over there. It's a great incubator space. And so we're very invested in this field. And he'll tell his story of why he got involved with this. And so without further ado, Mr. Thor Zhang, please come to the mic.
Hello, Annyeonghaseyo, and hi. My name is Thor, and I am the Frogtown marketplace owner here. For 16 years, I've been seeing this Sheffer Park being used, being not used, and oftentimes because I was a professional guitar player for over 20-some years. And I've been wishing, what happened? Hello. I have been wishing that someday the Sheffer Park gets turned into something that is more applicable to this diverse community of the Frogtown or the city of St. Paul. This is so diverse that each one of us is bringing some type of sports from different kind of globe, such as the guitar, tulu, or topspin, volleyball, soccer. And because the city of St. Paul is so diverse and has a lot of parks and recs, but these days a lot of these places are not available for the immigrants to play such sports. And today, within no time, with our great leaders, our great city of St. Paul Mayor Carter and Council Member Daita, along with the architectural team, inviting myself into here, giving some ideas, and these are some of my suggestions. On the hope, moving forward and I would like to leave this to our mayor and Council Daita, that and the City of St. Paul racks, the St. Paul racks and parks. That because immigrants are living throughout the whole city of St. Paul. People cannot come here often, so if you will, please also consider some of the parts of the City of St. Paul parks and racks to be expanding of this type of sports, not to include just Qatar, but badminton, volleyball, and some of the and Tulu too, so that all of us can be playing, can be using here, and so that we can use the City of St. Paul as a home and as a place to grow. Without further talking, I would like to give an opportunity to my good friend, Katie Royce. It is the executive director of Frogtown Neighborhood Association. If you have a special event and you would like to have some licensing from the City of St. Paul, before you go downtown City of St. Paul, applying for the City of St. Paul licensing, you come to her first. And there we go. She's going to give you the opportunity. She's going to approve your thing, right? Okay, come here, right here. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Katie Royce, and I am a co-director of the Frogtown Neighborhood Association. Somewhere around here is Tia Williams, who's the other co-director. She is over there. Is that cute red bag? Yes. Frogtown Neighborhood Association has been working since Sheffer was Sheffer, not the little Sheffer that used to be over there. That was the very first Sheffer, but the Sheffer that was here, the mouse stuff that Councilmember Tao talked about, we brought it down to the city and said, here, we need something new, and look what we got. It's beautiful. Someone that tracked the details of the building and helped make it culturally responsive, where many of the kids will be here playing, already are. And let's make sure that we work together to make sure that the programming is here to match the gorgeousness of that building. And now Jen Attila, who is connected to the curling club over on Minnehaha. Thank you. I will not automatically approve your license. And I don't have that power, but I will help anybody do anything they need.
Hi everyone, we're so honored to be here to represent Frogtown Curling Club, which is at the old Biff Adams Arena. We're looking forward to making making friendships within our community and introducing those that are interested in the Olympic sport that we're so proud of, that our Minnesotans won a couple years ago, if you remember the gold medal in curling. We've got a lot of interesting things going on at the club. I'm going to toss it over to Ed Clark, who's going to explain more about the youth curling program. And thank you so much for being here, and thank you for welcoming us as your neighbors.
Thanks, Jen. My name is Ed Clark, and I'm going to have to stoop over to use this. Jen and I are both with the Frogtown Curling Club, and it's 80 degrees and sunny outside, so you're probably wondering, what is the curling club doing here? The connection between these beautiful ball fields and the curling club may not be apparent to everyone right away, but curling, after all, is a sport that's played indoors on ice. Two teams, each of 4 players apiece, take turns sliding polished granite stones down a 150-foot sheet of ice, each one trying to get their stones closer to the center than their opponents. Sweeping, an integral and interesting part of the curling club is that we are fiercely loyal to Frogtown. Since 2011, our members have been investing their time and talent and energy transforming an old and underused hockey arena into a world-class curling facility right here in the heart of Frogtown. And we couldn't be prouder to have people come in to participate in our tournaments from all over North America. People who might never come here otherwise to visit and see Frogtown for themselves. So if you're ever wondering, you have friends at Western and Minnehaha Avenues. And while not all of our members live close by, we are all deeply invested.
Cú nói council member đại thọ nè, tụi tao sinh, nhớ Frogtown sinh phò nè, 我trong lúc nào bé, giờ lúc bé tôi接lo, trong đó lúc park chain ở thế, lúc building nè, cái
thổ ấy bé lò bí thì tổ chức gì thì oli cha bé thì oli cha bé thì khó tao cho nó có cho được sĩ tao nó nè thì thằng đó thì cú lu office xong học cổ chi nữa cú lu office bé thì thì hiện đó bé và partnership nó tổ xong bé mong thằng mà kia thế bé anh đó cho community leader ấy luôn là hay nè nhau thắt chặt nó nè thì bé tôi xí xả lá thì bé bé有么lu nhiều chế part mình nó chef phiêu nó muốn trâu ấy và lu chia nó nè chỉ từ tàu một nó xong nè chỉ biết đượcว่าtiền nè chỉ lúcพ่อnó ya biết sĩ ta lên đó cho lán tờ biết đượcว่าtàu lúcพ่อnó chỉ lúcพ่อnó biếtว่าnó mà chỉ ở trong mong xứ là ya ở đây hải ninh nè nàyตัวnày này bóng basketball này bóng giờ cắt tàu này bóng dầm ba này bóng football baseball một số chơi nhà lên nó có sau đó sĩ tàu nó nè tụi lò là những sĩ tàu chế chỉ ta lên đó chế thằng đó chế cú sa có bên mua lu chế nó nè cái bọn đó hoặc là Frogtown community center nó bây giờ sáu mua luôn building nó hoặc giờ lo này phun luôn building nó General Vang Pao community centerแต่ชิมาเป็นมวยจ้าใจเนี่ยสิงพอน้อยแต่เราจิกามัวอีตัวหนึ่งลุ่มเบย์จะเราตัวจะเจเลยนะจะว่าเจเลยนอเลยจะเบลเลยนอเลยนะเจกูเทเตียวลินเดอร์เราโอลีอย่าเตียตัวมัวจ้าใจเนี่ยเลยเจกันเลียแต่ชิมากูสาก็มัวลุดเดินนะเป็นมองตัวเนี้ยที่จะมีการนอนบนน้อยชงจะเชเปเทเต้เป็นคันชิบิวนะเป็นเขาเป็นตะการมัวตอนรู้ที่จะมีการนอนนี่มันต่อยาให้เลยยาลินดากุสาก็มัวลุดเดินนอหัวGeneral Vang Pao Field นะเขาน้อยย้ายคอแต่กูหายตัวเราช่วยปล่อยจงรอเทียจ่อกูตุ้จ่อเราช่วยตัวเลยเขาน้อยย้ายคอเราใช้เสียให้จะเป็นสามารถจ่อกันเลยเนาะก็คือที่นี่จะมองเลยตัวที่มองทางมาเกี่ยวเลยปล่อยให้เตียอาชีพชาตินอเรายิ่งยามองตูเทียยาชาตูเทียก็เลยตัวสีของนอเทียก็จะมีตู้มีหยอดตอนโตเตียนนี่ยาตอนเต้ยาไปชัวนะก็ไปจะมีหยอดมองเลยจะไปจีนยอตาเลยไปเราไปมูตาเลยชัวจะมีหยอดมองตอนเต้เนาะก็เลยตัวปอยาล้อลงไปเนาะก็เลยราคามันเก่งเกิดเลยเต้เก่งกือเทียยาล้อยาเล่นตื้อก็จะเป็นมองตัวสอดเต้เชิญนอlúc tết chờ nó有八边một lịch trả thế bây giờ到ba lúc tết chờ một lịch tới thế có bây là cá mua cái nắp chửi đó YouTube King thì thế họ nói giá khó kia đâu luôn là hải ninh còn luôn là hải ninh bỏ thì bên mong giờ lên từ thế giờ lo họ giờ lên từ thế lên tới bây thì trâu xe và có một lúc đơn nó và General Vang Pao Field thế lúc Frogtown community center nè chỉ xã thọ chơi cái sở tôi cùng nè bên nhau kiểu across the street from Mong Thang Market sư bên nhau lúc capital city nhau Saint Paul nè này chỉ nhau Saint Paul này nhau lúc lá là thằng này tôi hậu面说啦này là từ Mong Thang Market này Mong Village này là Mong Thang Market chỉ này tôi sai lúc đơn thì nó giờ lúc đơn giống chắp lại nhau tới chờ mi cả nó nè chọn nó cho khổng nó xí cho là kho và chọn cho các tao rồi đơn chọn bàn basketball nó giờ họ chơi có muốn họ chơi mua nhiên thì thế là thế là tao giả nó rồi là lúc dây lúc giò để chỉ bé bỏ tao thì chỉ nhỏ bé mua ít lúc đơn thì nó rong nhỏ hậu Saint Paul nó thế chỉ nhỏ bé mua chỉ lo luôn bé này phong là tua ít lúc đơn có rong thì nó thế là chỉ nhỏ nó chứต่อไปสิอย่าล้อลุ่มเบลตัวลุ่มเดินนะจะขอยังวีให้เดียอย่าล้ออย่าให้ตัวพระเอกจนถึงมีกาแล้วจะต้องมองซื้อแต่สิจนถึงมีกาเนี่ยตัว one of the greatest field in general อย่าเดียเนี่ยตัวนายท่าเก่งเห็นนะถอยไปสิตัวถึงมีกามูว่าสิต่อสิตัวนั่นยันล่ะสิตาเล่นเดียวอย่าล้ออย่าให้ตัวเนี่ยถอนเราเนี่ยต่อเชื่อต่อจอหนึ่งม้วนจะเงียบมีกาซาตัวเนี่ยจะมูว่าโรงเรียนมุนเดียนในครูเคลียร์ไปมองกับไปเต้นkhi có bọn bây giờ xài chân đó một nurse một này khu tuy giờ lên đó chỉ lo tua thế cho nó là chỉ lo những ba mong ba cho hai ninh nhau thế cho nó vì thế thằng nó ba mong gì mong thể và thể xây mong yếu và yếu chế nó cho cái university nó chỉ thôi giờ khi nhớ sự thì chỉ mong là yếu mong là tu mong là kho chỉ nên nó luôn trong là thế là muốn nhớ lên nó nè chỉ nhau cân cầu hay thế bây mua tàu giờ lo là tua giờ lo luôn bây giờ là tua lúc phiêu nó cái có lúc tết lửa hai ninh là tua bỏ là để bỏ thế bây mong tết kinh cử giờ lịch trả thế họ bây ba tàu lúc tết chờ nó giờ lịch trả thế cái có sau đó mua cái nọ hậu sĩ hậu sinh tuy giờ lên đó bây giờ bỏ thì họ nói lúc vị trí trong lúc chú ý trong mua lúc đơn nó hoa General Vang Pao Field nè
nó cái như rong ít trồng nè cái cái trả sẽ nó có nhiều tổ sông tổ chủ chuan để lúc ta làm Mong Town Marketplace cũng cháu lúc cái hay nói giờ hay chọn để lúc park thầu mà thì hay thì giờ Shepherd Park tại sao nó mới cho là một tàu chiếc họ project để nó giờ จวดลันดอนขอจุยว่าลูกพ่อเนี่ยนอย่อเจ้าเรามัวไอ้ลูกเขาเชยเยาบานมั่วเขาเชยเยาบานมั่วเขาเชยเยากระต้อมั่วเขาเชยดาวบานมั่วเขาเชยเจ้าเป็นดาวแบดมินตันเที่ยมั่วเจ้ามียาวชีเที่ยมั่วแร็กเลยชิมั่วเกจไว้ซิกไซส์เจ้าลูกเจนเนาะแล้วว่าลูกเจนย่อ right across street from ลูกตลาดชาวปอมฮงทาวน์นี่ตัวปอได้ไปย่อชติย่อตลาดฮงทาวน์ย่อเกชติซึมถ้าว่าเตี้ยเขาเนี่ยเนาะเดี๋ยวเขาว่าเนี่ยเนาะย่อตัวเจ้าเมืองเซนพอเมลวันคอร์เดอร์ที่เป็นตัว city council มงลุ่มเบหัวเตียได้ท่อแล้วอยากจะเจ้าหน้าที่วันจะเราลุ city เซนพอแต่ชินาแล้วป้อเตียมงจะเราลุ่นจงเถอะเนาะจงเห็นจะมงว่าตัวลุได้เชิญเนาะย่อเซนพอว่าป้อจะเป็นเชิญตัวเจเป็นตัวจะลุได้เชิญเนาะจะ sports เป็นเจ้าตัวได้เชิญเนาะย่ออยากว่าตัวลุได้เชิญชิมัวเกียร์อีย่ออยากก็ต่ออยากอยากเราตัวลุเจเป็นตัวมุ่งยอดเราเสียงพอนะจงเห็นเลยเจ้าว่าจะเป็นมั่วเป็นจะเป็นเปอร์เซ็นต์ยอดเราลุสิเสียงพอจะ public schools เลยที่เราจะเชียร์ที่เป็นเขามั่ว good leaders ที่จะเลยจะเชียร์แต่มั่วอีเจ้าเนี่ยเจ้าเรามั่วอีเจ้า sports เจ้าเรามั่วเจ้ากับเป็นเฉยๆตัวชีลูกพ่อเนี่ยถ้ารู้ว่าเจ้าเราว่ารงแต่เราลูกเจ้าเราเชียร์แต่เราเชียร์ break อย่างว่าเตี้ยเกียร์ตัวเลยใช้หนอเขาลูกพ่อว่าลูกเขาเจออยู่บ้านอย่างว่าเตี้ยเกียร์เจ้าหนูหน่อยอย่างหนูเป็นตัว grand openingได้ท่อให้เตียสิในพลยาตัวเจ้าเป็นตัวเจ้ารถเตชอเมริกาเนาะนึกจะชิดเป็นย้อนเลยล่ะวีเจ้าเกได้ท่อเลยตัวหนาวชื่นเลยตัวยาสิในพลเจ้าเลยตัวเที่ยวมั่วกัดตัวหนาวชื่อเที่ยวละตัว city council เจนี่เที่ยวจะเสียให้เจ้าเลยเตียท่อเลยเตียจะให้เตียมดตีให้เตีย Frogtown Community Center นั่นล่ะก่อนลูกเขาเจออยู่บ้านเนาะมดตีว่าสิในพลว่าปอลุ่มเบเที่ยวตีเจ้าเดินให้เตีย General Vang Pao Fieldsลูกกระต้อเดินจากกระต้อเที่ยวเอาลูกเดินจากบ้านรงเก้าจะเดินหน่อแต่สิเดินหน่อยางรงเก้าเองจะจิตจะปวนเด้อจิมอเขาจะจิจงสีมังเด้อเจียมดเดียวจะได้พ้นว่าพอลุ่มเบนะเจีย Frogtown Community Center อย่าตันทอลูกหน่อแต่สิลูกสักfields เอาลูกสักfield ที่เอาลูกเดินจากกระต้อหน่อมดตีสิในพ้นว่าพอยอน General Vang Pao Fields เอกก็เป็นจะมุ่งเตาตัวมุชีสิ่งนู้นเราเลยอย่าตอนเด้ว่าที่จะเชื่อให้แต่เป็นจะมุ่งอย่ามัวจอลีนาไปอย่า become more and more prominent more and more recognized แต่เขารู้จงสิพอเนาะจะอย่ามัวเป็นรู้จงสิพอมัวพอกจะมัว racks นั่นเตาแต่รออีเสียจิตชีต่อเขาจะเด้อเลยย่อเขาเนาะย่อได้เขาจะสิพอเลยเขียนแต่มุตาจะเลยเจจะเนาะจะเป็นมุ่งย่อจะพ่อเนี่ยชิมันตัวสีนั่นเตาเลยเจว่าที่จะเชื่อแต่สิเดียสิพอเนี่ยอย่ามัวจนเธอรู้แล้วมันจะเธอเชิญเราตัวรู้เชิญจะก็ต่อเชิญปอดาววอลเลย์บอลเที่ยงเชิญดาวแบดมินตันจ่ออยากว่าเป็นจะนึงไม่เนาะอย่าเลี้ยนเตาเลยเพลย์เตาอย่าให้เตี๋ยไปเอาเตาเลยเนาะเลยไม่นู้ตือว่าที่จะเชื่อให้เตี๋ยไปจ่อเดินจะก็ต้องนะไปอยู่หมดท้อเตาเนี่ยต่อจ่อหน่อยจะชื่อจ่อเราหมดจ่อไปรุ่นนั้น profit จ่อก็ต้องนะให้เตี๋ย Minnesota ก็ต้อง association จะถ้าไปท้อเตาเนี่ยจ่อเลยเนาะเลยไปว่าที่จะเชื่อแต่ไปหมดต่อที่จะไทยจ่อหนึ่งต่อจะ coach ก็เก่งแต่ไทยเต้ต้องมูเคลียร์ไปจ่อมีตู้มีมุ่งเลยเนาะเจอก็ต้องก็เก่งไม่นู้ตือก็รู้ได้จากอเมริกาเราต้องมุ่งจ่อเล่นจ่อโอลิมปิกจ่อ participate จ่อ Southeast Asian sports ทอนเดียวอยากจิตต้องมุ่งเลยเจต้องมุ่งทอนเดียวว่าที่จะเชื่อแต่จ่อหนึ่งyou represent team USA มุ่งจ่อชาติเฉยตีอย่าไปมุ่งวิแต่เป็นตัวจ่อรู้ได้จ่อก็ต้องได้เฉยนั่นเด้เฮงเลยทว่าเป็นจ่อจอมล้อทว่าเป็นจ่อไทยแต่สิมาเลยยังจ่อเลยชื่อเป็นตาเจจอมล้อจริงจ่อไทยจริงจ่อเจชัวแต่เชื่อจ่อจ่อเตียนหุ่นแต่เจชัวจ่อคาริอันเทียจ่อมุ่งก็สิเจเป็นมุ่งอีกคือต้องมุ่งจ่อได้ไทยต่อเป็นจ่อเลยแต่สิมาวิเป็นชิมบัดเจ็ตเทียถอนแต่เป็นชิมจ่อฟิลรงเจเป็นเทียต่อมุ่งจ่อสิแต่สิจริงหุ่นต่อเป็นจ่อฟิลรงเลยเจเป็นอย่าต่อมุ่งสม่ำเสมอคือตรีจาริงที่จิตตัวเลยเจตัวตัวเสียงพอทอเจเนี่ยเราใช้ General Vang Pao Fields เราใช้ Frogtown Community Center ย่อชักเกตthe other side 给的我到了蒙朝 marketplace 这路东西跑肉先到我只能到
一种年纪可能叫好像好报道了呢故些เขาสอสื่อชีเชียเนี่ยตัวรู้โจลินตัวรู้ติดหนึ่งก็ส่งพันหนึ่งก็เราจอเจลินนั่นเลยกูปอตัวเดียท่านพระบาปอตัวจอเป้เฉลี่ยเจตอนตัวเนี่ยเราส่งเราหนึ่งลุ่มเบเทียหนึ่งเตะเก่งคือย้อนตัวเป้ย่อไปหาหนึ่งมงย่อเทียหรือหาหนึ่งเราเลยหืดในลูกกงลุ่มเบเนี่ยเตะเก่งคือตีอย่างก็กูปอตัวเลยฮะเดียnhất đồ nung nọ khó chờ là hùa thì Frogtown Community Center General Vang Pao Field cú chỉ trao tàu tiếng lò trốn nung nọ là nung nọ nút khí cho là sầu cho chơi lên nọ là thôi cứ là bây giờ này cho xí này nhất đồ lửa lúc sáng nhất đồ lửa khó thì này tôi cho nhất là hòn đông sừng bồn nọ do cán trồng lò sai khó chơi nhất nhất đồ nọ thì này ở bỏ hay này ở bao thì dùng đi chả bây giờ chỉ đùa